Hello, today I'm going to be sowing some onion seed. Now I've already got shallots and Japanese onion sets in the ground along with garlic. I put those in November, but today I'm going to get some onion seed started. Now I've got 4 varieties here. I've got one from Italy, the Tropea Rossa, and I've got the long version of that. This seems to come in 2 different forms, a round bulb or an elongated bulb. This time I've got the elongated bulb. I've got the Roscoff onion. That's a really nice round bulb, pink tinged, delicious onion. I've got Rossa Lunga di Firenze, so the long red of Florence. That's another onion with an elongated bulb. And then I've got Borettana. This is a small sized onion. Now I think this one is normally sown a bit later in the year, but I'm going to get some set straight away. I will probably sow the Florence and the Borettana onions several times throughout the season. The others I will probably just sow this once. So I have a multi-purpose compost here that's supposed to be okay for seed sowing. It doesn't look too bad, but there's some, as usual, some chunks of wood and junk in it. I've got a sieve to hand in case I need it. This is not my normal compost. I would have preferred an organic compost, but in these strange times you have to make do with whatever you can get. I'm going to sow these in some module trays. These are looking a little bit ragged now, but they should still be okay for another year or two. At the same time, throwing away the larger pieces of junk that I find in the compost. Right, so I'll just give that a quick water. Now you can water this from the top with a watering can, or you can fill a tray with water and stand it in the tray for a while. Either way, you're going to hydrate the soil quite nicely. I can see it's sagged in a few places. Now while that drains, I'll start on filling another. I can't normally just throw old soil out of the greenhouse window, but at the moment we've got some glazing missing here, so right, so before I sow these seeds, I will normally just make a small depression in the top of the cells, and that just helps stop the seed from rolling away from the middle of the cell into the edges. I don't want them germinating in the edges of the cell. I'm going to sow 2 or 3 seeds in each position, and I'm going to let them grow as a clump this year. Very often I've grown onions from sets, and of course then you're getting an individual onion each time. When I've grown them from seed before, I've tended to sow just individual seeds, but this year I want to grow them in small clumps. I can always thin out 1 or 2 of the clump when they're smaller, but it seems maybe a more efficient use of space and certainly more efficient on time. So that's what I'm going to do this time. So I'm going to start with the Tropea Rossa. I'm just putting 2 or 3 seeds in each position, or occasionally maybe 4. Now when I cover these, I just want to sieve a little of this soil. Right, now I've got some nice fine material with which to cover these seeds. They don't need much covering, just a thin layer. Right, that should do nicely. So, a label and then it's done. These onion seeds don't need a lot of heat to germinate. In fact, if I just left them here in a propagator on the bench, even though it's quite cold at the moment, they would eventually show up. But I'm going to pop these into a moderately warm propagator, not too hot, maybe about 16, 18 degrees, something like that. Not more than that, because if we get a very sunny day, you can actually get the temperatures rise a bit higher than I'd like in the propagators, if you're not quick to get out and ventilate them. And like I say, the onion seeds, they're going to germinate fairly well somewhere above 15 degrees. So I'm going to put them in a moderately warm propagator, and hopefully we'll see some onions show up soon. So now to the long red Florence. Oh, I've used this packet before, and I've put the seed inside a little Ziploc bag. I'd forgotten I'd done that. I wondered why nothing was coming out. These are okay when you fold them over, but I think they might keep a little bit better if I seal them away. So same again, 2, 3, 4 seeds in each cell. So now to the Roscoff onion. I don't have so many seeds of this one, so I'm going to be a little bit careful how I sow these. Yeah. I think I might sow these individually for this one, and maybe go for some some larger bulbs, and the drawback of sowing multiple seeds is you tend to get smaller bulbs. Sometimes that's all right. I think for these I will go for some larger ones, especially as I don't have too much seed of this variety. I'm going to think about whether I want to sow maybe an additional tray of those. I've got to think about how much space I've got. I've already got quite a lot of shallots. In fact, I went a little bit shallot mad. I don't know how I managed it, but I ended up with 5 bags of shallots, and they take up quite a lot of space. So they've encroached on my normal onion growing space. So I need to think about how much space these will take up in the beds eventually, and whether I've got room to sow another bunch. For a compost that's supposed to be good for seed sowing, there really is a lot of lumpy rubbish in it. Right, 4 trays of onions done. Now I'm just going to pop them in the propagator. I'm not going to use the propagators behind me yet. They're set up ready, but I'm going to use the propagators in our small greenhouse. The reason being that the small one has more glazing than this one, so it's a little bit warmer in there, and hopefully I will fix this glazing soon. Whether I can fix it before I need to use these propagators or not, I don't know, but I'll get these put in place. So there they are in the propagator. I'm just going to put the lid back on and close the vent, and hopefully we'll see some life in those in the next week or two. On the other side, I've got 2 trays of the Roscoff onion now. I decided I'd rather have too many than too few. So that's the first sowing of 2021 done. The next will be chilies and peppers, which I hope to get done quite soon. Thanks for watching, and bye for now.